Hi everybody, my name is Mateusz Kubicki. Welcome to my Masterclass video tutorial. In this tutorial we will be using Kontakt Script Editor, and together we will make from scratch our first single band EQ, and if we get enough time we will add some extra bands. I will also show you what is and how to use Library's Script Editor. If you don't feel comfortable with scripting, programming or Kontakt indeed, follow the links visible on the screen to find out more about programming and scripting, as I expect you to be familiar at least with some of the terminology that will be used throughout the tutorial, and to be able to navigate through the Kontakt Script Editor. Let's take a closer look into Library's Script Editor. So here is our code that we are going to start with. I prepared it in advance, so I won't be wasting too much time on typing the code. I am just simply going to copy and paste and talk you through on what is what, so you can see how simple it is. On the right hand side of the screen we have the KSP reference, which lists all variables, functions, callbacks and declarations available in the Kontakt. So everything on here is fully supported and compatible with Kontakt. We are simply going to use two types of callbacks, several declarations, variables and functions, but specifically the onInit and onUI control callbacks, declare UI knob declaration, some user interface and engine parameter functions, and some user interface and engine parameter variables. So this is how it works in the code. We have the onInit callback, which is an initialization used to assign an initial values to variables and controls. It is the first code to be executed by Kontakt. MakePerView function creates the performance view for the controls to be positioned and made visible to the user. Set the script title is self-explanatory really, but is very helpful for navigation purposes. So when you are working with multiple scripts, you will know which script you are currently working on. Then we send an empty message to the status bar. Messages can be and are used a lot for troubleshooting to determine the output of a variable. Now we are going to create some knobs. We have to use the declare command to create the user interface knob variable, and we have to specify its name, minimum and maximum value. In this case the name is knob EQ gain 1. Every time you are assigning a variable, the name needs to have a $sign prefix. Then we can use the move control function to change the position of the control. Every time we are using a function, we have to specify the objects or variables name that we want the function to deal with. Set the function changes the text under the specified control. Set knob unit function specifies the units of the knob. In this case it is a gain control, so we want it to be in decibels. The function below sets the default value for the specified user interface object. The next command links the knob we've just created to control the parameters inside the engine. Now, the values displayed are referenced to the EQ gain values in the engine parameter. MakePersistent command makes the Kontakt to remember the value of a control when the patch is saved. If you ever stuck and wonder what a specific commands are doing, you can go to the KSP reference. Next important thing is to create a user control callback to perform two tasks when the control is moved. The first task will be to set the engine parameter to link the control we have created to the EQ control in the engine. Set the knob label is used to update the units value displayed every time the user moves the control. At this point we have a functioning gain control of a single band EQ. To implement the rest of the knobs we are simply going to copy and paste the code we made and change few compulsive parts of the code. We need to change the name of the variables and position, that's the first thing to do. Then we also need to change the units of the control. So for the frequency the units will be hertz, and for the Q control, for the bandwidth, the units will be octaves. Now we have to link the controls to appropriate parameters in the engine, and that's it. We've just made a single band EQ. Let's compile this code in Kontakt and make sure that it's working correctly. As you can see, all the controls are functioning, so that's our goal. Now, You can link the control to any parameters in the engine, such as modulation, delays, compressors, and so on, as long as you know the parameter name and the units of the parameter. I would highly recommend to use the Library's Script Editor, because this is where you can get the most out of scripting. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed it, thanks.